Hello and welcome to Big Dash Knows. Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football. Let's go. In case you didn't know, the New York Giants have hired former WCW, WWE, NWO member Kevin Nash as their new defensive coordinator. I'm joking, but to me, Wink looks like an old Kevin Nash. But again, yes, this episode is called the Wink episode. Okay, so obviously we already know Don comes with a lot of experience coming out of Baltimore Ravens, was the DC coordinator for them for many years. Had a lot of success. I believe the guy has always kept his defense in that top 10, top 15, and even sometimes, the top 5 outside of last year where, there was some struggles. But it wasn't mainly on Don Wink. He had some injuries he was dealing with. And, when the injury bug hits, a lot of things can go wrong. But I'm talking to Giants fans, so we know all about how injuries can mess up a season. But again, the Giants hired Wink Martidale as defensive coordinator earlier this year. And then I just want to get into why he was available. Okay, so we all know that Don was defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. A lot of people say that he was fired. Some people say that, there was a contract dispute, money was involved. The formal reason was a mutual departure, and, he left, the organization. And I couldn't be happier, man. Wink Martindale reminds me of what Giants football used to be, aggressive, all out, get to the ball, upset the opposing offense style of defense. No more sit back, the bend but don't break style of defense that drove us crazy. Now we got a guy that's going to actually be aggressive, and with that, bringing this type of scheme, you depend on having the right players in place to make these type of plays to fit this type of scheme. So, of course, when you bring in another scheme to another team, you obviously want to bring some of your guys with you, and Wink was able to do that. So if you notice, through free agency, the Giants did pick up a few former Baltimore Ravens players, or at least people that are familiar with Martindale's system. That being, defensive tackle Justin Ellis, defensive end Jahai Ward, also cornerback Morris Kennedy, and then another DB in Khalil Dorsey. So, and I love to see this because, you always want to have some guys in place that can teach the players on a player level your new scheme and how to get there. It's always good to notice. It's always good to see, players being able to come over and teach other guys on that level to make sure that, everybody is familiar and getting used to this defensive scheme. So let's talk a little bit about Wink's style of defense. Okay, so like I said, it's aggressive. And when you're blitzing a lot, you need to have good corners, good man-to-man corners. And I think we have a guy with Adoree Jackson that can play man-to-man, but there's a lot of question marks behind that. And you can see one of the reasons why we did pick up a cornerback, earlier today. But let's talk this CB2 position. Obviously right now, to me, is Aaron Robinson. Gets a chance to prove himself, in my opinion. Also, we have, the rookie Cordell Flott. We have Darnay Holmes, who was on the team last year, along with Rodarius Williams. So we do have some guys that can possibly fill this spot that's needed, for that cornerback depth, something we need for Wink's defense. Another thing that I like is, like I said, with all this aggressiveness, we need linebackers that can fill those roles. Sometimes they're blitzing, sometimes they're getting back into these coverage zones. And I think with the pickups of Darian Beavers and Micah McFadden, may not be the best man-to-man players, but they definitely have the athletic ability to get back into zone positions and disrupt, some plays. Outside of that, you got your 2 edge rushers with Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari that can also cause havoc off the edges. And I think that with all that being said, we got a chance, man. We got a chance to look like what New York Giants football is supposed to look like, and that's aggressive style of football, especially on the defensive side. So all in all, I'm loving this Wink hire. I can't wait to actually see the games, some live action. But everything that I'm hearing from camp so far is that these guys are already making plays, which means to me that they're already studying hard, learning this scheme and getting it down and ready to go. So again, I love the hire. I think Wink Martidale was the right decision. It fits the New York football style, and yeah, man, I'm excited about that. Getting into other news too, as we all know, James Bradberry did sign with the Philadelphia Eagles, and how do I feel about that? James Bradberry, you're the enemy now. You're the op. I can't wait to play you 2 times this year. And hopefully our wide receivers are ready and we can get to cooking. That's how I see you now, as the enemy. But again, yeah, getting back to the main focus of this, I'm just happy that we got a guy here that's going to be aggressive, getting us back to where we need to be. Blitzing linebackers, aggressive cornerbacks, possible turnovers, things like that. Give me more of that. I will never turn that down, for sure. Never turn that down. Again, I want to thank you guys for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Anything you want me to talk about, just put that in the comments. Again, this is Big Dash Nose, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.